How's everybody doing out there? I have a very special guest. Probably my most honorable guest. You know, this lady, you know, always gave me great advice. You know, I respect her wisdom. You know, she actually guided me out of a dark place, you know. And every time I think of her, I think of love because she's the type of woman that's straight move in love. I never, ever heard or watch her say anything that wasn't loving. You know what I mean? And you're like one of the only few people I could say that in my life.
Thank you.
You know, I remember the first time I spoke to this woman, and you know, we was explaining the sign, Team Gemini over here, you know, and she said,
Team Scorpio.
she said,
Scorpio goddess.
she said she was a Scorpio goddess, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, wow. I was like, okay, you know, no, I'm not worried about the pinchers, but I was worried about the stinger. There you go.
Yeah, right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please let me introduce Miss I Am Zoma. I Am Love. The queen herself.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. Thank you.
After so long.
This is probably the hardest one to clock in. Please let people
But
know
it's
about
definitely great
yourself.
to be here.
Thank you.
What did you say?
Please let people know about yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Zuma Mendez, the queen, the goddess, how Mr. Frank Brown addressed me as. It's an honor to be here. I try to live every day by walking in love and light. And that's my mission in life, to be honest, amongst other things, right? But I definitely believe in exuding love every day, at every moment, and everywhere I go.
You know, and I'm definitely gonna co-sign that. You know, I definitely am. You know, and you know, I would say, you know, when a lot of people become successful, they have bad character. Mm-hmm. But you know, for a woman, a Latina, or just for a person in general, mm-hmm. to be so stable, you know, and reach pinnacles of success, you know, to have such great character, you know, is that a good word? You know, I gotta ask, what's the key?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Thank you.
What's the key? I think remaining humble, mm-hmm. right? Not forgetting where you came from. So a lot of people do forget where they come from, right? Because they allow that success mm-hmm. to overtake, mm-hmm. right? It's good to be in the present, mm-hmm. but I also believe that you should never forget where you came from, right? Mm-hmm. And really understanding that because of those beginnings mm-hmm. and those shortcomings and mm-hmm. those challenging moments and those adversities in life, mm-hmm. that's what got you, right? The determination and the consistency of pushing through, wow. right? Yeah. So just being reminded every day, being humble. Mm-hmm. And like I said, my goal every day is to walk in love and light. Do I always do it? I don't always do it. But that's my mission every day when I wake up. Wow. To be a positive, even if it's just with a simple smile to someone. Or just saying, how are you doing? Mm-hmm. And we often ask that question, mm-hmm. but so many times we ask it not really wanting an answer. Right?
Ooh, that's deep, yeah.
But I ask mm-hmm. intentionally because we're all going through something, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And when you ask somebody intentionally how they're doing, like, no, like, how are you really doing, right? Like, how are you feeling today? Yes. It just makes a difference, right? Mm-hmm. And I just want to be that difference maker in life.
Well, you was definitely a difference maker in my life. You know, I remember I'm probably at the brokest. Shout out to the broke ass niggas because
Oh.
I was one of them,
Oh.
and I had to, you know, I had to take every opportunity. You know what I mean? To elevate. And even though I wanted it to be faster, I had to respect the journey.
Right.
And one thing that you know I, I love about you is that you always like it's okay, it's going to get better, or you know what, it could be worse, or you know what, do you, is it really that bad, and you made me think like that, like, is it really that bad, and it gave me what's the word I'm looking for, it made me remember times where it was worse before in my life, and it's like, yo, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm still growing, you know what I mean, and thank goodness that I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm still getting farther, but like, with your words really touch people. I know not just with me, but like several of our acquaintances. Your friends and people I know, and then my friends and people that know of you. They always say, "Yo, that's a great positive person," and yeah, and I'm 100% impressed. You know what I mean?
Well, I can say that I was able to witness your growth, and I tell you this all the time, and so proud of you, right? Because there were some crazy moments, right?
Okay.
But the growth that, and you continue to evolve, right? And it's beautiful to witness that in you as well as
Thank
my
you.
friend. And so keep going, keep striving, because you got this.
I know.
You know. But you said something, with as you were talking about embracing the journey, right? So often we focus on that end result, like this is where I want to be, right? This is the goal I have, and that's beautiful. But once you reach that goal, then what happens, right? You're going to have another goal to obtain. So embracing that journey, as hard and as challenging as it often is, but if we can embrace it, those failures, right? And failure is not a bad thing, and that's something that I've learned as an adult, right? It's just a stepping stone to, okay, I need to change the way I approached it, or the way I did it, or it's an opportunity to do better. But embracing the journey, I am learning that is key for success as well.
You said something, right? And like, I try not to get too personal, but like, I'm gonna get personal. I feel like, as I'm coming towards the end of one mountain that I'm climbing, and it's like, when you're when you didn't climb the mountain, but you could see the top, and I'm at that stage in my life, thank the universe, where I'm about to hit the top of that mountain. I really don't know. Like, I feel like there's so many options, and like there's a part of me that's afraid, because it's like, I feel like, if a person, I'm like, dang, if I can get this far, imagine how far I can get.
Right.
But then there's another part of me that's like, yo, I got this far. Let me enjoy it. And we don't get younger, even though I'm a bit childish, and okay. And yeah, okay. Forever young, toast to that, you know what I mean?
Forever young, but not forever childish.
Okay. And
That's funny.
yeah, so and so I'm like, I'm learning, you know what I mean? And I'm just taking things in, and I'm at a point in my life where like I'm gonna hit that point where I don't know what to do next. But I love the fact that I got so many options that I can choose from before I, past experience said, hey, yo, you got to do this to get here. And now that I'm almost there to where I want to get, it's like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And like I said, my goal is something that you do is move in love. You know what I'm saying? And I try my best. I'm yeah, I'm a little toxic at times, and I can admit that. But like, how do you do it? And are you happy moving in love?
I am.
Okay.
So, definitely am happy moving in love. I feel that it makes a difference even within my own life, right? It fills me.
What does it fill you with, if you don't mind me asking?
Just satisfaction,
Okay.
right? It just makes me feel full. Have you ever just had that full feeling in your heart?
No.
Never had it?
No.
Really?
No. I give two fucks about my heart.
Really?
Yes, but like, you know, but like
Well,
I'm a warrior.
I hope that you experience that one day. But it just has. I just have this full satisfaction feeling, right, when I'm able to know that I was a difference maker. Once again, even just with a "How are you doing?" right? Even if it's a phone call or a text, and like, you made my day, right? Or even if it's a stranger on the street and I see someone maybe putting, an older lady putting groceries in her car, and she's having a little bit of struggle, and I ask, may I help you, right? To me, that's all just, love is an action word.
Okay.
Right? And when you walk in that, you're doing things. Ooh. Right? People can say I love you all day. Ooh. And love doesn't necessarily mean a man and woman relationship, right? It means you can walk in love with a friend, with a child, with a stranger.
Okay.
If you exude in love, you exude in love.
I'm a firm believer of that.
It doesn't matter who it is. So, I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. But, walking in that, it just, I don't know, it just fuels me. It just makes me feel full. And satisfied. Because that's my mission, right? And when I know that I have done that, and given my all, to anybody that I come across that I feel that needs to be extended, that, which I think everybody should be extended love, right?
Absolutely.
It's just a full feeling. It's just a satisfaction feeling.
You see that, right? Okay, and I stole that. I'll be honest. Because there's a part of me that was like battling, like, when you're dream chasing and you go blind, you know what I mean, and you're like, I don't care, I'm chasing this dream. I don't care, I'm chasing this dream, and you friends and loved ones and acquaintances, they feel some type of way, and that adds to unnecessary adversity. Making sense? You know what I mean? How do you deal with that?
So that's really good because I'm a people pleaser.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So it does make it very hard for me when somebody's upset with me. Somebody cuts me off. Believe me, like I've had, even recently, have had instances of individuals just stop talking to me and not even understanding why, right? Not even knowing why. So I don't like the unknown.
Okay.
Right? I'd rather you hurt me with the truth than kill me with a lie. I think that's how the saying goes.
Yes.
Right? And especially the type of person I am, because I'm a people pleaser. You know, and I know that that's a good thing, but it's also can be very detrimental. And I'm learning how to balance that.
Ooh.
Right? So I have to do the self-talk, right?
Okay.
And I think that a lot of it, even with the whole love, walking in love, right? And even just dealing with those situations with family, not necessarily agreeing or, kind of stabbing you in the back or however that looks like, right? To each individual.
Okay.
Learning to love at a distance. Learning to, what's really priority, right? I don't believe in toxicity, right?
Well.
I believe that I don't want to surround myself with around negative energy, toxic people, toxic energy. So it's a choice you have to make. So even though it's family members, you can love them, but love them at a distance.
Now I'm a firm believer. of sometimes the villain and actually the hero. You know what I'm saying? And I say that to say, you know, the painful truth. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm 100%. It's Team Zoma. You know what I mean? I'm 100%. You know, you hands down say, hey, you tell yourself you love yourself 5 times a day, and that's like within the first week of us talking. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, you know what? And you know, and part of the, you know, the sacrifices I made was because of, like, you know, and the examples I tell other people. I'm like, yo, you could be a great person and succeed, and you know, and I use you as that example. I'm learning, you know what I mean? Maybe because I'm, you know, genders are different, you know what I'm saying? And because there's a part of me that's like, it's considered toxic, but like I don't understand in this, and I embrace it because like I feel like, yo, hey, if you consider me toxic for telling you the truth, or telling me, or me telling you, yo, listen, you're feeling yourself too much, and you have the right as a human being to do that, but like I don't want that energy near me, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, with a woman that moves with so much grace, how do you handle the how do you balance the ego in dealing with people with, while giving them wisdom?
I just want to make sure I understand. Why should I give them wisdom?
Like, you know, let's just say, you know, there's a pretty chick, right? And she has men wrapped around her fingers, you know what I mean? And you know, she thinks there's nothing wrong with her, you know. But like, you know, because there was times where I was on my high horse and I thought there was nothing wrong with me, and you said things to me that made me question me, and made me move in a better way. So like, you know, as a person that, as a goddess, a Scorpio goddess, excuse me, let me address this right, as a Scorpio goddess.
You don't address me like that.
Okay. You know, how do you reach that error? Because before you answer, let me say, I feel like you reach the era of people that don't want to listen, and that's like your greatest gift. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, I know you're a good person, but like to reach the era of people that don't want to listen is like a talent that not even I have. You know what I'm saying? So how do you?
Like how do I connect with them that don't want to listen?
Yes. And
I
is it
listen
worth
to
it?
them.
Okay.
I think that's really key. So I kind of, before I answer that, going back to kind of your other questions, right? We all have to do work, just to kind of like what you were saying, right? We all have ego. We all have attitude, right? We all have character. We have all these things, right? We all have trauma that from our childhood, right? And through our teenage years and, you know, adolescent years, adult, you know, our 20s or 30s. And that has like built right to who we are today, right? So dealing with those traumatic situations, doing the work. I've been doing the work for like 14 years. Wow. Like in-depth work.
Okay.
Right?
Shadow work,
right? Like digging deep and just really those uncomfortable situations, right? So that is definitely key. And that is what also has helped me. I've always felt like I've always walked in love and was always a kind person, but it's also helped me to really flourish that, right? So listening to those individuals who don't want to listen, really getting to know them for who they are, right? No judgment.
No judgment.
Right? I believe that, you know, we shouldn't judge. There's a lot of judgment in this world, but I try to enter the friendship, the relationship with no judgment. We all have our stuff, right? We all have our ish, right?
So you don't believe in one rotten apple ruins the bunch?
If you allow it. But if you remove that one rotten apple, then how's it going to ruin the bunch?
So okay. No, I was just curious.
But I I just feel like I get to know that individual or those individuals, listen to them, and then kind of, if they allow me, right? Because you allowed me to share my thoughts, right? If they allow me to share, my thoughts on the situation or what they're dealing with or what they're going through, and just give them my perspective. If they take it, they take it. If they don't, they don't. I have my own journey to walk. That's their journey to walk, right? And if I can be a blessing and they take it.
Now, can I ask you a question? You said you have your own journey to walk, and they have their own journey to walk.
Right.
Do you feel like, as a goddess, right?
As a woman,
a woman, that there's times where you say, even though I'm on my journey, I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna pull this person out. You know what I mean? Because
I definitely have.
Okay. You did it with me.
I definitely have.
Cheers to that. You did it with me. I give credit where credit's due. I feel like in this world, right, that hold on,
we all need each other though at the end of the day.
Yeah. I feel like nobody gives the people, I feel like, that people don't give people the proper roses, and it destroys the respect of being normal.
Yeah.
Just a normal person that opens the door for a lady. You know what I'm saying? Without checking her out. Like, yo, I'm gonna open the door for you because you're a lady. You know what I mean? And that's how my parents raised me. Or the lady that just said that that knows the neighbors across the street don't have it. Hey, yo, you know what? I got this extra meatloaf. And sends her kid around the corner or across the street to give them that extra meatloaf. You know what I'm saying? And
that's walking in love.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And and you do that gracefully. You know what I'm saying? You do that. You know what I mean? And so I have a tough question for you.
Okay.
You ready? So I know you're a happy person. You know what I mean? And do you have regrets?
No.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Certain people have regrets and you don't. That's cheers to that. You're the first person that said that. Like, actually said that. Like, really? No regrets in life. Everybody I ever spoke to in my whole life.
I mean, I think about it, right? But I also realize and understand the things that I went through, even the most lowest part of my life, the most heartbreaking, the most just
Do you feel more alive when you was going through that, or do you feel like more alive now when you're at the top?
Now.
Okay, because you're at the top of the mountain.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
More alive now. But I feel that those moments are what made me who I am today. Right? I often think about, would I go back? And sometimes I'll say yes, change, this, change that, right? But I don't know if I would.
So wait, time out, sis. It's okay. We drink, it's okay. So you mean to tell me, right? If you look at the 17-year-old version of yourself, right, and you know yourself. I don't know. I know you're a beautiful woman. I know you was a beautiful woman at the age of 17, and you're feeling yourself, right?
Or you wasn't?
You wasn't?
Not at 17.
No.
Wow. I was kind of shy.
Really?
But go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, yeah. Because I'm in shock. Because I'm thinking like, yo, you gonna whip your hair and just like, let me show these bitches. But okay,
no.
Okay,
It's definitely not that.
Okay.
Definitely not that.
So, but what would you tell your 17-year-old self?
What would I tell my? As far as, can you be a little bit more specific?
Like, if if you look at yourself at 17
Mm-hmm.
and you're saying, hey, yo, I'm 17-year-old, where were you living at? In
At 17, I was in York.
York, Pennsylvania. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you,
Shout out to York.
yeah, I love it there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm about to move there, so like I gotta really love it there. And you look at yourself as a 17-year-old Latina princess. You know what I mean?
Okay. I wasn't a princess.
Even if you don't
Go
believe,
ahead.
you know, I tell people, I say, yo, listen, let me tell you something about myself. You know, I was never poor, but I was dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, even now in my stage in life, I know you know, I had to get dressed up for you.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know what I mean? I take pride in being dirty. You know, I'm a fisherman and all that. What would you tell your 17-year-old version of yourself to you know, because, you know, 17 is a really good year for it's the process of the, it's really like the first step of a journey,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, of life.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you tell your 17-year-old self?
To believe in yourself
Okay.
at that age, to truly believe in yourself, not to follow the naysayers,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even family members,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Um,
Now you
to
consider
go-
family close friends or family blood?
everybody, like
Oh.
anybody that's close and blood.
Mm-hmm.
Not to allow the voices in your head to deter you, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we often, you know, even now as adults, we allow those voices to kind of just be detrimental to ourselves, right? Not to reach the goals, right, or our purpose.
Mm.
But as a 17-year-old, like you said, it's a primal year, right? You're about to enter adulthood. You're
Life
trying
choices.
life choices, trying to figure things out, right? And go for all that you want at an early age, and not focus on. Back then. I was really about. I grew up in a very strict home,
Okay.
so
Which is a great thing, I believe.
it is. It
Mm-hmm.
is to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got to an age that I was able to have a little bit of freedom or
Okay.
have freedom, I would say I was wild, but I just really experienced. I wasn't ready for life.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't prepared for the adulthood. So really just understanding what was, I mean, I guess it's kind of hard, right? But I was saying just kind of try to be ready for as much as I could for the adult, for the adulthood and what awaits me.
Now, what would you prepare yourself for?
Huh?
What would you prepare yourself for?
I set myself up for that one. What would I prepare myself for? Just everything. Responsibilities, bills, right? I mean, credit, making sure you have good credit, like all those things that we need nowadays that I literally had to learn the hard way.
What about love? What about
Love? Marriage?
like the true love? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like at 17, right? I remember, I was on house arrest, right? And my grandfather, God bless his soul, came to me and he said, Frank, you're going to need a good woman to slow you down and put you in your place. Right? But like in my head, I'm like, I don't know his journey. You know what I'm saying?
Your ego was like on 1,000.
Like,
highways.
yo, what are you talking about? Do you want me to show you my pager, sir? you know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I know.
And I said pager. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that. But like, well,
that's what we had back then.
yeah, okay. So like, yeah, but like, yeah, I'm sorry, but like, and yeah. So he's like, you want to need a good woman to slow you down, right? And I look at love, you know what I mean, differently than most people, you know what I mean? Because I look at love as like, dang, man, I never had that. Like, I've seen so many people.
So you never been in love?
Well, I have.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Of course I have. You know what I mean? I probably say I had. I never really felt it though. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
So how can you say you've been in love if you never felt it?
Well, you know, there was
That's interesting.
yeah, very, you know, you're gonna understand the story of a man. All right, you know, when you commit, you know what I mean. However you commit through your heart or through your mind or through your actions, you know what I mean, which leads to your actions. You can't control yourself. You know what I'm saying? And when you cannot control yourself, we all have the illusion of love. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. We have the illusion of love, like yeah, white picket fence and everything. But you know, then we're dealing with the reality of love. You know what I mean? So you know, when you're dealing with when you're trying to give somebody that you love, you felt this connection with, and you can't control love. I believe love's uncontrollable. That's why it's the most dangerous thing in the motherfucking world. It's because it's uncontrollable. You cannot, like, anytime you would give up on yourself for another human being, that's love. You know, I read a quote before, and he said anybody can like a pretty penny, but it takes a special type of man to love a dirty penny. You know, even though the value of a penny is always the value of a penny, you know, it takes a special type of person to love a dirty penny and scrub it and clean it and just keep it and treasure it, you know. So when I say I never felt love, you know what I mean? But like I loved, you know what I'm saying?
So you felt like so what I'm understanding that you're saying is that you
Maybe
never received, you never felt it reciprocated back to you compared to the love that you gave.
Oh, well, that absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. But like I understood. See, I feel like, you know.
That's one of my questions I have for you, actually.
Okay, you know, I understand that, like, you know, I'm a different type of person. You know, I believe in duty. You know what I mean? If somehow, some way, you was able to get inside my heart, you know, it comes with duty. You know what I mean? So my mind goes straight to duty. Like, okay, how can I make this person happy? How can I make this person stable? How can I make this person the best person that they can be? You know what I'm saying?
And that's how you show love.
That's how I show love. You know what I mean?
But maybe that significant person that you were with, right, or the significant people that you were with, or whoever, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe they were showing their love the only way that they knew how. I was in a relationship, right, at one point in my life, and I loved this man, and I showed him, like, and I gave 100 and above.
Okay.
Right. It was literally like I was married. Like,
okay.
I was
soul tied.
Just everything, right? I was invested in the relationship, but I did not feel that it was being reciprocated.
Okay.
Right. But I got to a point that I was able to understand that they were only loving me the only way that they knew how to love. Oh. So then how do you know what I mean? Okay. Do you stay in that type of relationship?
Well,
because it's not being measured to what you probably think that you desire, right? That's a really good question. Well, yeah. That's a great question.
Well, you said something to me one time, right? And it fucked my head up. You know what I'm saying? You said one time, your heart's broken, but it's not completely broken. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Let that, you know, don't stop doing you. You know what I mean? If you love somebody, whatever. But break it. Let it break. And then, you know, the right things will come along in your life that will heal it. And so, like, I'm a 100% believer of that. Like, you know, if I value somebody, you know what I mean, I will show And like, because when you value, and that's the key word, the key word is value. You gotta value. And when it comes to certain situations, I believe that, how can I say this? I believe that it's, you know what, I'm all in. And when you're mentally all in, you're spiritually all in, you're soulfully all in, whatever you want to consider.
It's definitely a decision and a choice.
It has to destroy you, so it won't be no longer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like, and that was probably one of the adversity, toughest forms of adversity that I had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And I look at that and with no regret. That's why I like the fact that you say you live with no regret, because I don't either. You know what I mean? Even when I was fucking up, I was like, yo, hey, I was trying. And I'd rather fuck up 1,000,000 times and try than to not, move in a way that's less than love. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so to answer your question, right? It was a question, right? Because like you made me go deep, and I wasn't ready for that.
What question are you gonna answer? I don't know.
Okay, well, fine.
No, go ahead.
To answer that, I like and I just feel like that's a part of life. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be broken 1,000,000 times. Don't like be completely broken, because there's times where I was completely broken. And get lost. But like, don't get lost to the point where you're scoring. You know what I mean? Just get lost to the point where, like, yo, I gave it my all. Mm-hmm. And the universe will send people of value. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer that will all right, let's take a break.
No, sorry.
Okay, no, that's cool. The universe will send people of value that will be there. Like, I tell, like, guys tell me all the time, there's no good women. Or women would tell me all the time, there's no good men. And I say, let me tell you something, hands down, I don't give a fuck where people are in life. You know what I mean? If you're a broke dude and you see a woman you value, you're going to change. If you're a shady woman, you know what I mean? And you see a man of value, assert of that value, that true value, not the illusion of value, not potential, but value.
But I think that's the problem, though. Like, we shouldn't change for the other person. We should change because we want to change.
For real?
Yeah. I think that, so, how do I want to explain this? So if I'm with someone, right, or I'm dating someone, or in a relationship with someone, and they say, Zuma, like, I don't like how you did XYZ, or I don't like that you, I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
Any situation. I can't think of anything at this moment.
Okay.
Right? If I feel that it's going to be conducive to my personal growth as a woman, to my personal growth for our relationship, for my personal growth as a mother, right? As a whole. If I feel that what they're saying to me that either bothers them or they don't really like about me, if it's conducive for me to change, then I'll change. But if I don't feel that they're just being petty or just saying that they don't like it, then I want to have this conversation, like, okay, help me understand, what is it that don't you like? Why is it that you don't like it? You know what I mean? And kind of have that uncomfortable conversation or that adult conversation, and let's talk through it, right?
Okay.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't be willing to change, but I'm not going to change just because you asked me to change.
No, I see that's hard
Why?
because like I feel like that's one of the most hardest decisions a person have to make in their life, and this is why. Because now you're saying, like let's just say if I say, hey yo, Zuma, man, you know what? I don't like the way that even though you're successful, I don't like the fact that you're always busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need to stop that. Even if you have to become less successful, I'm asking you to be less of an individual and more of a unity.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think when people do that, it's wrong. You know what I mean? Like there's times where people ask me to do that. You know what I mean? And I was like, trauma, maybe not. You know what I mean? And I can only say trauma. I feel like that word covers. It made me refuse to do that.
But I think it also goes to the fact on how do you handle that, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Because I am a busy woman, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Look how long it took for us to do this podcast,
Okay.
right? So I feel as though what's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm in a relationship with a man and I'm busy as I am,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm going to make sure that I am intentional with our relationship. I'm going to make sure that I'm satisfying my man on all levels, with time, with intention, with conversation, on all aspects that he needs me to be as his woman. So that when I have these other things that I need to do, right? Because it's only going to benefit the relationship anyway, right? So, and just making sure that he knows that above my kids, he's also important and a priority to me, as well as these other things.
Okay.
So I think that when you have that, once again, it goes back to communication, making sure that he understands how important he is and how much of a priority he is to me, as well as my children, as well as these other things that I have going on in my life that are also priority and important to me. We're not in the business to change people.
Really?
We're not.
Okay.
I'm not in the business to change people. I'm in the business to help you grow, but I'm not in the business to change you.
Before I respond to that, I feel like we should refill cups.
No, I don't want to refill. I'm good.
Okay, I need to refill my cup. You know what I mean? And give the proper response.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Okay, definitely. And then you want to get this unedited stuff. You get to do what you want. If you want to post it, I don't care. Okay. We're here for part 2.
Yay! Part 2.
We survived part 1.
Still drinking my first cup.
We end with a nail biter. Okay? You said that you don't think we're in a position to change people. And I said, I think we are.
Okay.
And I think there's a difference between coexisting and love. You know what I mean? And I don't judge either or, but like, love changes the fuck out of somebody. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
But that's the choice.
But love takes away your choice. Think about life, you know what I mean? How many times you knew better? You was like, yo, it's not worth it. I don't know if you've been in it.
Absolutely.
If you've been on that, you know what I mean? And you say,
absolutely.
Okay, before I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I think we've all been there.
And so I'm a firm believer of we're in the business of changing people. Like, I will make you my soul tie. You're going to make me your soul tie. I might not, and like you might not. I feel like with genders it's separate. Like, a man, what a man considers romantic is probably different from what a woman considers romantic. You know, the flowers and candies is such cliche. Does that make sense? I feel like, you know, when it comes to true romance, the level of intimacy, it's like it's not about the flowers and the candies no more. That's traditional love. It's, oh, you know, we've been together for 5 years. Oh, yeah, I've been giving her roses for 5 years, but there's going to be something in her that's going to make her feel empty. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you might not see her, like, let's just say y'all go school clothes shopping, and you see her look at that dress. Mm-hmm. And you're like, you know, baby, they forced me for overtime for the next 2 weeks. But it takes 2 weeks to, you know, work hard and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it's no holiday. And you give her that dress. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's a different level of intimacy.
Absolutely. Okay. Yes, because you're paying attention to her.
Yes.
And you're seeing her. Mm-hmm. 100%. Okay. 100%. Now, I'm a person, I love flowers.
Okay.
So, I love flowers on those just because days. Not because, you know what I mean? Not because it's a holiday or my birthday or... I love them. I'll take them. But even just, hey, honey, here's, you know... just because I love you, or just because you're important to me. Mm-hmm. That to me is romantic. Okay. That to me is special, right? Mm-hmm. Cliche or not. Mm-hmm. I believe in giving flowers while you're alive. I give them to my girlfriends. Just because that's just...
Men
I love
deserve
them.
Flowers.
I didn't know men like
flowers.
No,
that was a joke.
Do men like flowers? I don't know. Do men like flowers?
I don't know. I never got one to say I like them.
Yeah, I don't know. But...
I don't think so.
Do men like flowers? Come on, guys. Do men like flowers? Let us know.
Okay.
Right, let me know. Let the ladies know. Do y'all like flowers? Because that's something new. I don't know. But I definitely agree with you, right? But that's where someone is in tune with their significant other. Okay. Right? Where you're able to see the look on her face. Where you're able to even energetically... right? Not even be in the same room or in the same area, but to be able to know when they're off. Right? Like, even just through a simple text to say, like, hey, like, are you good? You seem a little off. Like, you don't seem yourself to me. I think those kind of things are... I mean, what do you think? I mean, you're a man, right? So... If you're dating someone or, you know, talking to someone or in a relationship with a woman and you text her and she'd be like, hey babe, or hey honey, or whatever, you know, you guys, you know, say to each other, and she says, like, are you okay? Like, are you good? Like, you seem a little off.
Want me to share a story?
Yeah.
Okay. So my parents been married for over 30 years. You know, my mom and my stepfather. And I look at, first of all, I feel like stepfathers don't get the credit they deserve in this world. And I look at that man as my father. You know what I mean? With that being said, you know, I remember it was just this year. It was my mom's birthday, and the kids wanted, our kids wanted to treat her to Disney, right? And I was down to go. But my job gave me, so mandatory, they put me on the schedule, mandatory, so I couldn't go, you know, at the time, right? So, like, there was a part of me that was like, you know, a little feeling some type of way. So I knew my dad at the time. My dad, he was afraid of planes, so he wasn't there. I'm gonna tell you what I noticed, right? And he been married to this woman for over 30 years. He raised me. You know what I mean? If I have to credit this man for at least 60% of my toughness, you know what I mean? So, like, I remember I was getting off for work at 7 o'clock, you know, and I would say, hey, you know what? I would go see my dad. And we're just going to talk shit. I'm going to have a beer. I'm off this day, the next day, and shit like that. I remember driving. Because this, you know, we live in the city, the parking is crazy. So I had to park around the corner. And, you know, I know... not before I come. But one thing that I remember on that day, and nobody knows this, is his lights was off. And like, you know, and I was like, before I disturb this man's peace, let me think about it. You know what I mean? And I had, like, you know, I walked away. I didn't even bother knocking on the door. The lights was off. His car was parked on the street. And I looked at it like, and I could be wrong, but I doubt it. He was just trying to hurry up and sleep this time off so his wife can get here and they can go back to being husband and wife. You know what I mean? Whether to loving each other or getting on each other's nerve, I can't. You know what I mean? I can't explain it. You know what I mean? And that fucked my head up. You know what I mean? Because the lights was off. I heard the dog barking. Ruff, 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 ruff. The dog actually came to the door, and I don't even like I don't give two fucks about the dog. You know what I mean? But like, I said, oh, he feels it. You know what I mean? Like, that's my first thought. Like, as a person, like, yo, oh, he feels it because my mom's going for a week. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna spend a week without his wife. And you know what I mean? Of 30 years, how can he deal with that? And like, they just spent like, you know, and like I feel like they have something I would never have. You know what I mean?
Why would you say that?
Because they got that time in, and that's something I would never have. You know, you gotta think we're you know, I'm 42.
Okay.
Single, no kids. You know,
But what makes you think that you're not going to find someone to be able to? I don't think that it's about the years. It's about the quality.
Yes and
of
no.
The
Yes and no. Because, like, think about this. Imagine that dude just sitting on the couch, getting on your motherfucking nerves, telling you, "Hey, woman, da 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 da." You know, at night he's telling you, "Take that fucking bonnet off." You know what I mean? But he loves the fuck out you. You could see in his eyes, in his soul, in his being. You know what I mean? He loves you. He loves being on the couch. He gave up his whole life just to be on the couch with you and watch. Like, yo, because my dad, you know what I mean, he's a football fanatic, you know, and thank goodness he turned my mom into a football fanatic, even though the Cowboy fans, and, you know, we got to forgive him for that. But, like, I want to say this right, because I don't want to take away from my mom. Think what it took for that man to get addicted. You know what I mean? Not only did he get addicted to me, mom, he got addicted to the whole family. Like, he cannot function without a family person, without a member of the family. You know what I mean? Being there, like,
do you consider that addiction, or do you just consider him? I don't want to say settling, but I think that's his comfort. Like, that's what he chose.
Addiction. 100%, because, like, you know, he could have been a Rolling Stone, make good money, retired. You know what I mean? Got that retirement money. Could have been a Rolling Stone. You know what I mean? We never know that. That's why I said that. Like, that's why I said that. Stepfathers are some of the most mistreated people in the you know what I mean, in the world, because. And stepmothers, yeah. You know what I mean? Because there's some women out there that's really like, yo, they get in that man, they see that broken man. You know, what's that group name? But I don't remember. But they have a song called "Look for the Girl with the Broken Smile." Ask her, can she stay for a while? Because she will be loved. You know what I mean? And that's like, yeah, when I was locked up, I listened to crazy music, like different music outside of my normal genre. And,
cute lyrics, though.
Yo, for real, like, you know, and that's
that song.
Yo, look for the girl with the broken smile. Okay, I can't sing, but, like, you know, toast to that.
We do not want Frank singing on this.
Nah, especially now. I've been drinking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You know, so, like, you look at what they have. If you know, and she gave him a son, you know what I mean? But, like, you know, he look at all of us as his child, you know what I mean? You know, and, like, each one of us got surprisingly a different level of attributes from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I got his toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else got his toughness. I got his toughness. My other brother got his kindness. Nobody else got his kindness. And the way my brother shows, my younger brother show kindness is hidden.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's general kindness, but it's hidden. You know what I mean? My youngest brother got his stubbornness. You know what I'm saying? And nobody, you know, to understand that person, to understand him, you have to understand his father. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like he did so much as a man in our lives that like it passed on to us.
Mm-hmm.
But like my fault, maybe the alcohol's getting to me. You know what I mean? But like to see that man, like, you know what I mean? Like you know, because I like peeked in the window and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo.
Because he's probably not used to being without her.
Without her.
Yeah.
And like, yo, it's the craziest thing ever. But I'm like, if a woman, like, you know, or without us, you know what I mean? Even, I know, like, it was all, you know, miss whatever. And it's like, and I think he thought that, because I bought my plane ticket and I didn't even get a chance to go. Like, you know, I bought plane tickets for, you know, at the time, everybody that was living here. But I didn't get a chance to go. And like, you know, so when I stopped by, it was just like, yo, that light's off.
Yeah.
And I hear that dog barking. So he's just
he was just trying to suppress it to, like you said, like just to let time go by.
And like that addiction, like that soul tie. You know what I mean? If I can't have that, I don't want it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like even my youngest brother, he said something to me that fucked my head up. It made me change the whole game of how I feel about love. He said, yo, if I can't have a woman that loves my mom, that loves me the way my mom loves my dad, I don't want her. And like, you know, I'm like, well, you got good money, you got this, you know, all the girls is talking to you, you know, this and that, this and that. I'm just fucking. Mm-hmm. Safe sex is the best sex. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, okay, cool. You know, and
but what does that constitute of, right? Like, so I'm sure your mom. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
It's okay. We don't gotta go there today.
You can go there.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I'm sure did your dad put your mom through a lot of stuff?
Oh, okay. Let me tell you something.
So
my
like,
dad specifically.
How?
My dad was a man of many words. You know, he was smooth.
Like
he was a penny dropper.
Your stepdad.
Oh, my stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
My stepdad was.
Cause like, okay, so like, you know, I hear what you're saying about what your brother said, right? I don't know a woman that doesn't treat me like mom treated dad. He's talking about your stepdad, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But his real dad.
Well, his real dad, right? So, what I'm asking is, does that mean even taking the things that your stepdad did to her as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but how is that? Like that's.
Yo, oh man,
Yeah,
see,
that's hard. So,
see, and I would say this, and I feel like this is the part where genders are divided. You know what I mean? But like they don't understand. You know what I mean? Because like, you know, my mom got 5 children. You know what I mean? And we're all doing good in life. You know, thank goodness. You know what I mean? But like we all got a work ethic that's sickening. And so with that being said, she had a talk with me one day, and she's like, "Yo, do you really want me to give this man for your dad? Where's your dad at? He's out there talking to other people. He's out there doing this. He's out there having fun."
Right, but did your mom lose herself in the process of being in a relationship?
I think that
because I don't. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely. You got to. You got.
No,
yeah.
why do you have to lose yourself?
I remember, oh man, see, I remember I was locked up, right? And I watched all these shows, right? And one of the shows is called That 70s Show, right? And this dude, I don't know, he had this crazy haircut. I don't remember his name. And it was come a time where, you know, the girl that broke his heart the most, an angel came down and said, "Yo, listen, we're gonna go to Christmas past, present, and future." And he said, "Yo, I'm gonna take all this shit away." You know what I mean? He said, "I take all this away from you right now." But he took that hurt, because he said, "Yo," because he knows what made him him. You know what I mean? And if you don't, and if you move in a certain way, you know what I mean, you're gonna take that hurt. You're going, you know, and like I said, like, it took me a while. Like, I never learned to appreciate my dad, my stepdad, or my real dad. I mean my stepdad that turned into my real dad until I was locked up. And two other men said, "Yo, listen, man, you said excuse me." Motherfuckers don't even say excuse me no more. You know what I mean? And when it came to that, you know, going to sell action, and who's the tougher man? Oh, you can swing, but you don't know how to take a hit. You know what I mean? So I learned to value that man different than. But it took me so long because, you know, when you're 13 years old and you're confused, you know what I mean? Oh no, these girls like you, but these don't. But so I'm gonna go to these girls, but this man that took you in, I mean, when you was just a child, said, "Yo, come on, let's go fishing. Let's go fishing. Let's go do this. Let's go do this." And in your head at the time, as a 13-year-old boy, it's like, why would I go fishing with you when, even though I'm not supposed to, I'm gonna go over there and suck on some titties. You know what I'm saying? And when wisdom kicking and understanding in reality, it's like, yo, I should have been fishing more times than often. And even now, like, you know, if you know, we're close, so if you hit me up one day and you might have hit me up before, and you said, "What are you doing?" "I'm going fishing," and it's just so coincidental. What's that?
Coincidental.
Sorry. Yeah, that, like, you know, now I take pride
in doing the things that you.
Yeah, like, you know, I'm living my childhood. You know what I mean, which is great. You know what I mean. Which makes me want to ask you, like, you know what I mean, because you're at the top of the food chain. You're the princess. You're the goddess. You know what I mean? Was it worth giving up on, I wouldn't say love, but like legacy? You know what I mean? To be where you're at now?
Was it worth giving up legacy?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I gave up on legacy.
What do you mean?
How did I give up on legacy?
Well, wait, you got kids. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're right. So you have legacy.
Yeah, I have legacy. Like, how did I give up on legacy? So what I'm understanding your question is, was it worth everything that I went through to be where I'm at now?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I will continue to strive to reach those mountains. And I mean, I'm not done. I have so many goals and aspirations that I want to achieve, right? Wow. So pushing through those challenging moments and really more myself, right? We're our own worst enemy. Ooh. And going back to what I had said on the first show is, you know, really surpassing those internal thoughts that we all have, right? But yeah, I'm definitely happy. It's definitely worth it. And I am going to continue to move forward, to push through and climb that mountain and climb the next mountain and climb the next mountain until it's my time to leave this earth. So.
Yeah. We're both single, right? Okay. We're both stable. You know, you're successful, but, you know, we're both stable. Is it for a soul tie? Like, because, like, one of the questions like one of the questions people come to me and say, "Hey, yo, you know what? This is what I need to know for like a soul tie, to actually have a genuine person that
Am
genuine
I doing what I'm doing for a soul tie?
No.
Oh, okay.
Where you give it all up for that.
No.
Okay. We just thank you for your honesty, but like, yeah.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Because you don't think love is better, or like...
I'm not saying that love isn't better, but if he loved me, right, he would be happy where I'm at in my success, because it's only going to benefit the relationship.
Okay.
So
benefit how?
What do you mean?
I'm just...
No, I'm asking you, like, what do you mean?
Like, because you said benefit, so like, how would it benefit him?
Because like, my success would be his success, wouldn't it? Like,
yes and no.
sort of, kind of.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Because, if we end up getting married or being together and living together, like, that's also going to come to the household and be contributed to the relationship and vice versa. So I would not ever want to even take away from him, right, in his success. I would want to add to it. So the next person that I am in a relationship, I want a man who's going to add to it, not take away.
Okay.
So, and push me to continue to do better, challenge me.
What happens if he just want to love you?
But to me, that's all part of love.
Oh. Like, what happens if he sees you as you? Which takes a great deal of energy. I feel like, I had this friend, and she found my truth, and I ran from her. I'm gonna be honest, I ran from her. I'm like, yo, listen, man. Oh no, you know what I mean? And part of it was trauma. Part of it was like, hey, I got better things to do. You know what I mean? Not better things to do, but I just rather entertain this because it's safe. It's safe here. You know what I mean? But like, and like, I danced with the devil a million times. You know what I mean? And I look at love as a different quest than most people, you know what I mean? And so like, I ran, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be straightforward. I ran. I'm like, yo, you know what? We're not even the same race. You know what I mean? But she moved in a way that was nothing but love. You know what I mean? But I knew there was that part of me that would give up that image of me. And I know that this journey, I'm guaranteed that image of me that I always wanted. You know what I mean? Not always wanted, but like, I told myself would be the best version of me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, this generation, as soon as they get hurt, they do the same thing. Like, most women be like, oh, I'm gonna have my own, this and that. He has to match my energy, right? Most guys be like, hey, guys that went through that struggle, they say, hey, yo, you know what? I want a woman that can just match my energy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want...
Most men would say that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like, whether they're a garbage man, a man that works at McDonald's, a man that works in a foundry or whatever, and same with the woman, whether she works at Walmart. I want a man that works by whatever, who cares? But no, I'm sorry, let me say that. But like, she would say, I want a man that match my energy. And I feel like when it comes to love, it's like, yo, man.
But match your energy how? Like,
exactly, because I feel like...
This doesn't even make any sense to me.
Because when it comes to love, right? The actual love, who gives a fuck? Like, and let me explain why. I don't care if I'm drained if you was able to get inside my heart, you know what I mean, and like I tell people all the time, like, yo, just because if she's worth it, break those motherfucking walls. You know what I mean? If she's just superficial, then, you know, let her just grow old and, you know, say niggas ain't shit for the rest of her life. But if she's worth it, break those walls. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because you're going to be surprised what you find. You know what I mean? I don't know the way of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like most people do, to say, hey, who's worth it, who's not. But like, I do know enough to say that, you know, as a person, you know the definition of your personal worth and their personal worth, and you know that they have something inside. Because I feel like, you know, we're becoming too superficial. That we lost our essence
in society. Period.
In society,
absolutely.
Period. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, you know what I mean?
So so let me ask you this. Do you believe that men don't necessarily look for a relationship? They're looking for that one. They're looking for the one. I think that women are more the ones that look for a relationship.
For real?
I'm asking.
I think men look harder, 10 times harder. Like, you know, even now, right? Like, take me
for a relationship or looking for the one?
A relationship. Because, like, the one, like, they don't have that perception. They're going to be like, yo, is she faithful? Does she cook?
So you're looking for the one.
You know what I mean? Does she does this? Does she does that? But ain't that part of the bonds of relationships right now?
So my question is, what is the man's ultimate goal? A man's ultimate goal, is it their career or the relationship? Like, as women, as young girls, we were created with this image, right? You know, the fairy tale.
Okay.
You know, you grow up as a teenager, you get married, you have kids, you serve your man, blah, 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 you live happily ever after with a white picket fence, right?
Oh.
So the man, right, as young boys, what do you guys taught? Like, to work hard, right? To pursue a career, to work. Like, that is the ultimate.
I don't. See, this is hard because, like, I don't know no man that was fed a fairy tale. Like, cause, you know, I don't.
I'm not
like,
saying that. I
like,
that's
you know,
what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying, what is the ultimate purpose, right? I think, for my understanding, right, even just certain research that I have done, that women, we like, our ultimate goal is a relationship, right? To have that relationship, to be with that man, to be in a relationship. The man is more fulfilling his purpose and his goal, because if he doesn't feel fulfilled, and we've had this conversation, right? What would you say? This is where I want to be. And I don't want a relationship until I'm here making X amount of money, doing this, doing X, Y, Z, right? Let's put you on blast. I'm just saying. So, and what did you say? I don't want a relationship. I don't even want to look at anybody until I'm there. Why? Because you know that's one of your first mountains that you want to climb, right? So then you're able to provide, be that provider, right? Be that substantial person for that woman in your life, right? So the ultimate goal is not necessarily the relationship; it is your purpose, right? In your achievement of your career.
Ooh.
Am I correct in saying that, or am I incorrect?
You're so correct and incorrect at the same time.
Okay, please explain. Please help me understand.
Okay, like, well, you know, yeah, okay, with me, I would say, like, you know, I feel like, because I can only use me.
Absolutely.
That was a nice little, you did that, you know what I mean? But, like, I would say to me, I feel like, I would not get where I want to be with the relationship because I would stop, pause, and take care of what needs to be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like by taking care of those things, I will not be able to grow the way I want to grow and to get to the things I want to get. You know what I mean? Now, does that make the relationship more or less of a priority? It makes it more of a priority because in order for me to get to those things, I have to look at people. I have to look at the reality of the world. You know what I mean? Excuse me. The reality of the world and say, hey, you know what, man? Damn, I can't grow with nobody. And
you can't grow with nobody?
Not no. But that's okay.
You can grow with that one, the right one.
How? Because they're going with quality time, they're going with quality effort, and then like they're going to say, hey, you know what? Be a part of my legacy instead of you being. Let's just say the more established. They're going to say be a part of my legacy instead of me being a part of yours. I'm selfish. I'm hands down.
I don't see it that way.